Shut up and sit down.
Namaste, friends. I'm Simon.
I'm Ellie.
And if you enjoy our videos, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and of course hit that bell thing. That would be very kind of you indeed. And as usual tonight, we're being surprised by you, our viewers, who have recommended that we check out movies and film our reactions to the trailers of those movies.
So what do we have coming up next?
Well, next up, we have a series of movies. This is going to be a 3-part thing that we do. And the movie series is called Baaghi. And Baaghi roughly translates to Rebel. So there's a 3-part movie series called Rebel.
Nice.
The first part came out in 2016 and it stars Tiger Shroff, who you'll remember from War, and he was extremely...
Impossibly handsome.
Impossibly handsome, yes. So this is actually a remake of a 2004 Telugu language movie called Varsham, and it's pretty much about a martial arts champion who kidnaps a young actress. And after her father goes to the police and he gets no luck at all from the police in helping find her, he then turns to her impossibly handsome ex-boyfriend Ronnie, who's hot on the trail. Now, this movie, for an action movie, was actually pretty highly praised. It was praised for its martial arts combat, for its well-choreographed action scenes, and even for its acting and its music. So we're going to check out the trailer for Baaghi, the first movie first, then we're going to be back tomorrow and the next day with Baaghi 2 and 3, but if you stick around until after the trailer, we're going to let you know what we think about The Rebel.
Nice.
But for now...
Let's go.
Let's go!
Hi. I'm Sia. मैं तो पैदा ही रिबेल हुई थी फिर उससे मिली रॉनी वो भी बागी धमाका तो होना ही था
एक तो यहाँ आने का कोई शौक नहीं था बाप ने बम्बू किया सो आ गया
देख रहा हूँ तुम्हें फाइट करने का बड़ा शौक
ओनली जो मुझे कोई उंगली करता है मैं सीखने के लिए तैयार हूँ पर आप कुछ सिखाते ही नहीं
सिखाऊंगा भी नहीं
सीखना भी नहीं आपका ये अटर पटर मैं तो यहाँ किसी और चीज के लिए आया
ए तू जो अपने नैनो से बाण चला रहा है ना वो मुझ पे काम नहीं करेगा अपनी लिमिट में रह
इतनी जल्दी अभी तो मैंने स्टार्ट किया
Wow. Oh no.
माना मेरा तरीका गलत था
Yeah.
तुमसे बहुत प्यार करता हूँ
बागी बनो बी अ रेबेल और किसी मकसद के लिए
राघव कोई छोटा मोटा क्रिमिनल नहीं हर फ्लोर पे राघव की प्राइवेट आर्मी है प्रोफेशनल किलर्स स्वर्ड्समैन मार्शल आर्टिस्ट
मुझे उससे मिलने कहीं नहीं जाना पड़ेगा वो यही आ रहा है
वेलकम रॉनी लेट्स हैव सम फन
It's not fun for everybody.
Not those buddies. Whoa. Whoa. Oh my god.
तू खत्म इतनी जल्दी है अभी तो मैंने स्टार्ट किया
Wow. Okay. So, Baaghi, the Rebel. Wow. What did you think?
So well, there was a lot that jumped out at me multiple times and then my brain exploded. But the thing that I really like, that really stands out to everything else in this movie, because obviously, like, you know, it's visually stunning and it's everyone's impossibly handsome. What I really liked is with the premise, I kind of had some very specific expectations when you talked about that at the beginning. But I really liked that Sia was actually difficult to kidnap.
Yes.
Because she's got skills too, and I think that's really, I don't know, I really like that when it's not just she's an object that gets stolen that he then has to go claim, that she actually, you know, was able to fight back and she's able to kind of be part of like the rescue team and kicking butt.
Yeah, she clearly does a lot of kicking butt. I like that as well. I don't know their backgrounds, but I mean the martial arts looked authentic, and I actually think the world needs more female martial artists. I think there's just not enough women doing martial arts in general in any form. So I'm always really, really happy to see that. But yeah, I like that as well. I wasn't sure how their relationship, because in the premise, he is her ex-boyfriend, so there was a previous romantic relationship between them, no longer the case. I wonder if that would be rekindled through this, or whether she just is angry at him or something, and there may be a bit of comedy there. Yeah, wow, there was so much there. I love the fact, actually, that it blended incredible landscapes, visually stunning, as I always say. I loved there was a ton there that was outdoors, especially the kind of romantic scenes on the beach when they were underwater and then in kind of a canoe thing. That was really cool. But then the combat, oh my God. It really reminded me actually of War, where, you know, you had Hrithik Roshan and Tiger Shroff as the two leads in that, you know, standing off against each other. And every punch just felt like a crunch. And like even when he flexed his bicep, you heard this noise, like the bones were cracking under his impossibly handsome muscles.
Or it was just like kind of, that was how he like cocked his muscles before he started punching. Like you'd cock a shotgun or something, like just kind of like prime the muscles.
Yes, yeah, that was really cool. The combat looked amazing as well. I mean, and I like old school martial arts movies as well, and there was a ton in there. I mean, you know, I was kind of expecting going into this as well that this would be kind of like the Taken series, especially as there are 3 movies. It's always, you know, somebody gets kidnapped, the lead character has to go rescue them. I kind of figured it would be so much focused on that lead character. And, you know, Taken is a fun trilogy of movies, but it's very bleak at times, like, and it's very gritty. And whereas this, I mean, clearly people get hurt, like that body count keeps on heading up.
That was fun.
But it kind of seemed to have a bit more lightness to it as well. Like there was a bit where he kicks that big log against the bell and it comes back and knocks him over. And that was clearly part of a montage where he learns to later kind of kick the thing back again, and he kind of improves and improves. I like that kind of Rocky montage aspect to it. That was really cool. But then there was the dancing as well. There were clearly dancers in it. And, you know, I've heard that Tiger Shroff is an awesome dancer, so I'm sure that comes into it as well. But wow, you know, there was a ton to love in the first Baaghi movie, enough that I would be very, very happy to watch it and see what happens.
I think the other thing that stands out in this movie too is there are some incredible kind of very physical stunts, like in terms of kind of how he's moving around and how he's kicking butt too. But I feel like it really stood out because quite often people will obviously get buff for a movie kind of for the visual effect, because clearly he had to take his shirt off and show off all that hard work, so that's fair enough. But it was clear that his training included enough kind of variety and depth that he was actually able to do some of those incredible stunts, like holding himself sideways on a pole and some of like the high kicks that he did. And I feel like it really benefits from that they didn't have to get in, like it probably was on wires, but some of it, but that they didn't have to get someone else in. It just added to like the kind of the depth of the movie as well, that you could see that he was actually able to do those incredible kind of physical acts himself.
Yeah, and I've heard that that's a theme running through both Hrithik Roshan's career and Tiger Shroff's career. Apparently, Tiger Shroff is a massive fan of Hrithik Roshan, who he played alongside in War, but both of them traditionally do most of their own stunts. Wow. So I would say you got 2 super impressed nerds here. Would you watch Baaghi?
Definitely.
Yeah? Me too. This, I grew up on, Jean-Claude Van Damme movies and Steven Seagal movies. This looks like the same kind of thing, just with maybe some dancing and music. And romance. There wasn't a lot of romance in Steven Seagal movies.
And Tiger Shroff's a lot more attractive than either of those two as well.
Yes.
Impossibly so.
Impossibly so. Yeah, I gotta say, I don't know how you work in action movies and you do your own stunts and you still remain attractive in the face, because I would imagine that face is going to get banged up through some of those stunts. So
I will say,
yeah.
I think often people frame it like actors doing their own stunts as if that's a brave thing to do, but I've looked into it a little bit with some of the research we've done for previous videos and covering other movies, and quite often it can be, I guess I kind of don't want to belittle people who don't do their own stunts, because it's not always, and first of all, it's not always the actor's choice. They don't get an option. But they are, as a commodity, worth so much to the studio. So sometimes, even if they want to do their own stunts, it's just not responsible. Sometimes it can mean a reset of the set that could cost the production like several days to kind of reset if something goes wrong. We've seen several instances of actors injuring themselves, and then that costs the production as well. So it's not just about whether the person is physically able to or kind of is brave enough to do their own stunts. Often that's the more responsible choice as well. But also it does add an extra element like I said, it adds depth if the actor is able to do those stunts themselves, but it's not always kind of a choice of, are you brave enough and are you physically capable? Like, there's more to it, and it's interesting to look into kind of why people make the choices they do. Yeah,
and when you look at like Brendan Fraser, who started as a stuntman, and then, the injuries he picked up in George of the Jungle and the Mummy movies, like his body is just racked with injuries these days. So I hope Tiger Shroff is doing better than that. Well, anyway, stunts or no stunts, we are super impressed. So thank you very, very much indeed to everybody who recommended the Baaghi movies to us. We are going to be back very soon with Baaghi 2 and Baaghi 3, so hang around. But for now, that's all we've got for you. So we'll see you next time on the next Dork Trailer Ambush.
Peace out, nerds.
Bye!
Shut up and sit down.